Well, how's everybody doing? So, yeah, everything just won't work, okay? I've got all the parts to rebuild that engine except for that block's junk. So I was like, well, I'll just use everything for this engine. Everything works except for it needed a one-piece rear main seal, oil pan gasket, different rings apparently. Because these pistons that are in the box over there underneath that carburetor, those pistons, have a shallow oil groove. And the rings I got was for a deep oil groove. So now I can't put this together, so that's on the back burner for a minute. I've been trying to figure out these stupid aluminum heads over here and why the push rods just will not clear anything. They just hit where it's machined, and after doing some majoring I realized all the holes are not drilled in the right spot. So those heads need work, and so that ticked me off. So I took them off there. So what I'm going to do, I can't run that camshaft with the heads right there. With putting those heads on there, takes it from about 11, a little over 11 to 1 compression ratio down to 9.6 to 1, which is streetable, which I can run, gasoline in it. So I'm going to lower the compression, use those heads. I already got them cleaned up. They're just drying. They look really good. So don't know if I'm going to use those rockers or a different set of rockers. I got a better set in there. So I'm going to take that big camshaft out. I've already got the lifters out of it. They're all right here, and the box is labeled front, rear, right, left, and all the lifters are in order. So I can take that right back out of the box, stick in the engine with that same camshaft, and that'll be fine. I've done it a bunch of times. I've never took one of my engines apart that the camshaft had any wear on it. They all look like brand new. That's one of the reasons I have like a whole bunch of camshafts, because when I tear an engine apart or go to do something and I don't want to get rid of them, I can use them in other engines, and I've done that before. But this one's getting a different camshaft, because unfortunately every camshaft on that shelf over there has more lift than them heads want, or those heads, or those heads, or any other set of heads I got, except for those aluminum ones that are machined wrong. So I don't know why them cylinder heads are giving me problems. I got an identical set with an identical set of shaft mounted roller rockers like them over there, and they work great on the other vehicle, but they just won't work on this. So we're going to tame this thing down a little bit, put different cylinder heads on it, different camshaft, try to bring the power down lower so I got a little more torque, which that camshaft was going in the other engine, but now I think it's just going to have to go in that engine, because it's the only one I got that'll work with factory style heads. All the other ones are too big, too much lift. So I need to get some valve guide cutters and some different, the better style valve seals and springs and a bunch of other stuff. I'm still thinking about pulling them all apart, putting the better springs in them. So I got a set of comp cams valve springs I could throw in them. But that's something I can do with the air compressor and a valve spring compressor while it's on the truck. There's like plenty of room in there to do that. So if I wanted to do that later, I could. Or I could do it now. That's the valve spring compressor I use, that big C-clamp style. And I got another one somewhere over here that probably got knocked off because there's still a hole in my roof. I paid to have that roof fixed over a week ago, and I still haven't came and fixed it yet. Yeah, that thing right there, you can't see it. I got different valve springs to put on them cylinder heads. I just don't know if I feel like doing it tonight. I probably won't. I'll probably leave them light springs on there to break in the camshaft, and then a few weeks from now, after the cam's good and broke in, been running a while, I will change them out to the better springs. So yeah, pretty much got to dry them heads off, throw the head gaskets on this thing, throw the heads on it, put the other cam in it, the new lifters, take all them rockers off and use all those. But I don't know, I might just use those. I'm still debating on that. They're already on there. I'll have to look at them and make sure they're good. If they're good, I'll just run those for now. So anyway, unfortunately the oil pan gasket didn't go on quite right the last time, because if you remember right, I built this engine and did not like the camshaft that was in it because it wouldn't rev high enough. So I put that in it, and then I never took off the oil pan. I just loosened the bolts. And well, I don't know if I'm going to get away with that again or not, but if I can't get away with that, I do have a brand new oil pan gasket up there in a box that I bought for that engine, so I had to buy a different one for that engine. So I might just replace that while it's, you know, easier to replace and not have an oil leak later. I'm very tired. It's like 10:30 or 11 o'clock at night. I'd like to get this engine together and ready to go in the truck, maybe even in the truck tonight, but I don't know. So yeah, there's y'all an update video. I will see you in the next one, and this is going to be a really good engine here once I get it built. Got the crank and the main bearings in it. Everything's just so smooth. Anyway, yeah, that needs camshaft, rods and pistons. All I need for this is a set of rings. So what I might thought about doing, I thought about running them aluminum heads on that motor with one of them bigger camshafts. So, or you know what I mean, run the aluminum head on that 350, up the compression on it. Since I got stock pistons, that'd bring it up. I don't know, I'd have to look at the engine calculator and see what that would bring it up to. Then I could run them bigger cams in it, but I'd have to machine those first and at least clearance them with my little cording tool I got, carbide bit, because there's no point in bolting them on there that way, you know, because they're wrong. I don't know, I'm really tired. I don't know what to talk about, you guys, sorry. I'm going to get back to working on this and see how much I can't get done tonight. I will see you in the next video.